I'm a mother of 10, so I was cooking anyway. But I knew I was going to have a big family, and it was some traumatic experience that really made me become a chef. I have 2 daughters that are type 1 diabetic, and coming from the South, I was cooking the Southern way, not really oil, fat, all that good stuff, and moved to New York. Married a man who's a Muslim, so he didn't do any pork. Rarely did beef, so the Southern cooking had a little change from that moment. And then when my 2-year-old became a type 1 diabetic, certainly instead of cooking 2 meals, I had to kind of just relearn how to cook, or try to cook a healthy way of some comfort foods, that we would do in the South. And so, although her blood sugars really weren't getting that much better, I then found out it was mostly the seasonings and all these processed foods that would have all these preservatives in it that would truly, make her blood sugars go crazy. So I went to Cornell to study nutrition and become a dietitian. And then I worked on equivalents. What would be equivalent, let's say, if the doctor or nutritionist prescribed her to have chicken breast and, salads, maybe I could do the baked chicken and collard greens and not have to put so many of these extra things as Southerners do. And more and more doing it, then people would taste it, and it's like, oh, you need to do this for a living. And then I started doing it at a local flea market in New York, and more and more, and I was like, I just enjoyed cooking and I enjoyed people, and it's just evolved into something more and more, and I started making my own seasoning line and started doing meal plans for people, and then I started catering. And then I had a restaurant up in New York. Me and a friend of mine, we kind of just help each other, and between that and doing hair, I was really kind of making a decent amount of money for my family. And then we went to do it, I guess, the next step. So I had a gentleman kind of tell me about Culinary Institute of America, and so I remember doing several things with them and for them, and seeing how I could get in there, and that happened, and I started cooking, seeing a lot of chefs, studying, and I think here I am today. I would travel around too, I would say, cooking, doing weddings, even though I lived in New York, weddings here in Florida, Washington. We travel around, and in 2008 I got a divorce, and from my first husband, and so I had to make a living. So I moved down here and still do the catering, and opened a DJ karaoke company last year around this time. And one thing New York has that Florida or Sanford didn't have is a place to eat at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So after doing your DJ gigs or singing, there's no place to eat but, places that you don't necessarily want to eat. And I did that, and I said, hey, what about a restaurant? Myself and a business partner, Larry. Larry was just like, I don't know. And I said, I think it'll work out really well. And certainly he was very surprised that we would make most of our money from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning. And here, here's again Shantell's, still feeding the masses in a great way. Wee hour in the morning, and it's getting better and better. So I think that's the start in a nutshell.